Say hi to Peppa.
Hi, Peppa.
All right, everybody, I'm back. We did the test to see about the shaft collars here, whether that makes a difference. And I think the test we did pretty much sew that up. I mean, it shows that it does make a huge difference. So now I want to do something else. I put this barreled action in this stock after I bedded it and got it ready to bring out here to test. And I just tightened it down to where it felt right to me. I've worked in mechanical and electrical stuff all my life. I've turned a lot of wrenches and screwdrivers, used a lot of test equipment. And I just know when something feels right, because when I was a young man, I'm talking 13, 14 years old, I used to work on cars for the family some, and I had a bad habit of breaking boats off. One time I broke a bolt off in a valve cover, tightening down, replacing valve cover gaskets, and my dad had to extract it, and it wasn't an easy chore. So I learned not to over tighten things. And the same goes for your rifle and your action screws. You don't want to over tighten them. You might strip it out, you might break something off. So what I did is I used my Fix-It Sticks inch-pound torque screw here, and I measured what my actual readings were, and they were both 35 inch-pounds front and back action. So that's where it's at right now, 35 inch-pounds. So we're going to do the first group down, and we're going to continue to use the Norman TAC 22 since it's a cheaper ammo, but it seems to group good, which will give us good results for our test. I want to start off on that top row up there on the left, and I'm going to do the same thing we did with our test for the shaft collars. I'm going to do five round groups. Then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to back the torque off to 15 inch-pounds on the front and the back. Then we're going to do five round groups. And then we're going to go to 20. Then we're going to go to 25. Then we're going to go to 30. And we're going to see which action screw torque setting actually works the best for this rifle. This is going to help me. I don't know that it'll help you, because this rifle is, unique in its own way, as every rifle is. And the torque settings is never going to be the same from one rifle to the next. However, the way that I'm going about testing it, I hope will be helpful. You can see how I'm doing it, and you can use the same process and technique to do it for yourself. So you just need to make sure you have a good consistent ammo. If you're using something that's not consistent, you're not going to get good results. I could use SK pistol match or Lapua pistol OSP. For God's sake, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to burn that nice ammo up and expensive ammo up doing something like this. I think the TAC 22 is a good compromise for this type of thing. So let's put some in here. Let's get this test started. We still don't have much wind out here. It's overcast. It might start raining. So let me try to get this wrapped up before the weather gets bad. And let's see what we got down there. It's going to be cold. It might take a few rounds to get it warmed back up and shooting right, but let's put our first round down there and see what we got. I knocked my parallax off a little bit, checking that action torque setting. So let's have at it. All right. We got 3 in the little group and 2 up high, so we'll see what we got. Let's move over, do 5 more. Yeah, the way these CS Spec magazines, I'm not going to buy no more of those. I'm going to use the Factory Savage. They're cheaper, they're not made as heavy, but they work better. Looks like it's opened up from our last test. Maybe I tightened them screws down a little too tight. Checking to see what they were, but I think we just need to get the barrel back up to where it was. Starting to tighten up a little bit there now. All right, that's not too bad. I think that was pretty decent. Tack 22. All right, let's keep going. Try not to make this one too long. I know people probably get tired watching long videos. As a matter of fact, I probably don't watch them all. They go with the end to see the results. Which I don't blame them. All right, let's go over here. All right, that didn't look too bad, but definitely wasn't shooting as good as it did a while ago on the other test. I think I cranked them action screws down a little tighter than what they were, just trying to see what the actual setting was. Let's get 5 more here, and we'll pull this thing and get them down to 15 and see what that does. I think that's what the factory stock recommends, is 15 inch-pounds. Between 15 and 18. It's tightening back up now. All right, let's stop it. We'll back it down to 15 and see what that does. All right, I'm back. 15 inch-pounds. Let's get this thing moving. Let's see if lightening up that action screw setting is going to do anything significant for it. I might have over-tightened a while ago trying to see what I actually had on it. Because you have to tighten it a little tighter to get the torque wrench to move, so I might have cranked down on it a little bit. Alright. Yeah, one that flew off by itself there, and the rest of them was vertically straining. More so than they were before, so I don't know. We'll see. And this thing always, when you first start shooting it, after it's gotten cold, it takes 4 or 5 rounds for it to tighten up. Okay. What counting there, like usual. You know how lead fever is. He's not good at counting anymore. I think it's that old timer's disease setting in. I'm not that old. I'm 61, but I'm getting there. All right, let's go for group number 3. Yeah, that one didn't look real good. That may not be the ticket. May not be the ticket. I have to keep counting my browns here. In my Tika, oh, that was a fire. In my Tika, I only have 10 round magazines. I got 5 and 10 rounds. This one. Yeah, it don't look too bad. Don't look too bad. Not a lot different from the top one though. Still our last 5 and crank her down to 20. See if that does anything. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and change my scope settings just a little bit. I don't want to get them in the bullseye, but I want to make it a little more close to it. Let's stop it. Go to 20. Load back up. We'll keep going on this. We'll see what we can make out of it. But I think that 15 is not enough. I think there's too much variation there. So we'll see what 20 brings. All right, now we're setting at 20 inch-pounds. And we're going to see what that does for it. We'll drop down there to the next row. And I adjusted the scoper a little bit. Hopefully it'll bring things back up closer to the bullseye. I've had people ask me about that. I just don't like shooting my point of aim out. And, you know, as long as you can measure the groups, I like dropping them low and maybe to the side or at least high or low where they're easier to see and easier to measure. I might have went the wrong way with that. All right, that don't look too good right now. Let's come left. About 3 clicks. All right. So that next group. All right. I'm not so sure I see a significant difference. Maybe opened up. But we got 3 more groups. All right. I think we opened up a little on 20. That's a little better. I think I'm taking too much time and I'm getting wobbly. I'm a diabetic and my sugar gets low sometimes and I get kind of shaky. All right, last group, put 20. All right. That's a bag of mixed tricks there. Kind of better, kind of not. Let's go to 25. See what we got. Be right back. Okay, we're set at 25. We'll load it back up. Let's drop down there to that next row and see what 25 has to offer us. I like what I see so far. 25 might be the ticket. 35 might have been too much. I think I was closer to 30, to be honest. Opening back up now. Huh. Got a perfect square down there. Aren't we playing Hollywood squares here? Let's get our next round, 5-round group here. I like to see it tighten back up like that first group, but you can get it in there good. There we go. I gotta work on that. That's irritating. I like this little scope. I mean, it's not no high dollar scope. It does the job. It's not as nice as my half-line scope, but it didn't cost near as much. And it's only got a 50mm objective compared to the 56. It ain't too bad. It's not as bright and not as clear, but it's usable. I think it's very usable for the money. Some of these are me squeezing the trigger before I want to. My fingers and hands go numb on me all the time. And that would have been a good group because that one up high, I pulled that. I pulled the trigger before I meant to. So 25 is looking pretty good. Let's get our last group on there and go to 30. See what 30 looks like. And then we'll measure it up and we'll pick the one that does the best job. You can see it changed my point of impact too. I didn't change the scope. Alright, I like what I see. Let's go to 30. Stop it one more time, go to 30, then we'll measure it up, and I'll go to that setting and we'll shoot some known good ammo and see if it performed as well as it did yesterday. Give me a few minutes. Alright, we got our torque screw, action screws torqued to 30 inch-pounds now. And well, if I can get that rustle in there, it's a mighty small mag well, and it's square as it can be. It's really hard to get in there. Maybe practice make perfect for that. I don't know. So let's go ahead and get started here and see what kind of results we get at 30. I think 25 looked pretty good. Alright, let's not jinx it, Johnny. Don't jinx it, Johnny. I believe 30 looks good if it continues. If it continues. If I can do my part. That was me. That was me. I let it slip in the bag right at the last second. Now, that wasn't me. That must have been ammo. But it still looks better than all the other ones so far. All right, one more group. I'm not going any further than 35. That's just too tight. These have soft parts. The action screw studs in these are soft. They're easily damaged. The receiver is thin. All right. Well, it's plain to see already. 30 is the best, but we'll measure them up. We'll measure them up and go over it. I'm not touching it. The shaft collars and the torque action is staying where it's at. I'm going to measure them up and report back to you on that, and then we're going to shoot some pistol match. Maybe some OSP or something else, and see what kind of groups we can get now that we have the action torque set the way it should be. Let's see if that good ammo still performs the way it should. I'll be right back. I'm going to go retrieve my targets, measure them up, and we'll look at that. All right, folks, I got these measured up. Get down where we can see it. Got the light shining through. I guess y'all can hear the cicadas back there. I reckon everybody's got them pretty thick right now. So with the 35 inch-pounds, and I feel pretty assured I was close to 30, and in order to get that to move and show me 35 inches, I torqued it down another 5 inch-pounds. So you can see there, that's still respectable for TAC-22 out of this budget rifle, a .489 average for 35 inch-pounds. Then I dropped down to 15 and come across here and got a 404. That tightened it up pretty good. Then when I went to the 20 inch-pounds, it opened back up and moved back up to 458, which was better than the 35 inch-pounds, but still not as good as the 15. So, moving on to 25 inch-pounds. You can see there, it was pretty much the same. At 20 inch-pounds, we have .458. At 25 inch-pounds, we'll have .459. So really no difference. Then I moved to 30 inch-pounds, and the group shrunk up pretty good. That first one there is a .167. Then over here a .147. So we dropped down to .323 for the 5-group average at 30 inch-pounds. And if you remember while back on the shaft collar test, once we got back up to 4 collars with the TAC-22, it averaged out a .299. So from .323, .299, that's close. That's awful close. So that's pretty consistent. So that's what we wound up with. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm going to get this thing loaded back up, and I'm going to shoot some pistol match out of it and see how it does. This little rifle is a thumper for what it is. And there's my setup there with a spotting scope and my iPad. There's the target down yonder, out here with all the cicadas and a little bit of a misty rain, but not much wind. Peaceful out here. I love it out here. I like coming out here and slinging lead. So this is Lead Fever. Hope y'all enjoyed this other installment of setting your action screw torque and how to go about testing it. We will talk to you later. Lead Fever out.